Hi and welcome to the channel, Budget Audio Review and Upgrades. Today I'll be reviewing the silver loudspeakers. They're not silver in colour, that's the make silver. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen now, the actual full make of this Japanese company. I'm guessing these would have been around in the late 60s, 70s, somewhere around there. Maybe someone can fill in their details down below because I'm not exactly certain, not a lot of information about these speakers. One of the reasons I've got them, as long as these speakers are cheap enough for me to go and buy, kind of like throwaway item maybe, that if they're complete rubbish I'm going to throw them away kind of thing. I don't mind reviewing them, not that many people are going to be interested in these I don't think, but it may have caught someone else's curiosity. Speakers like this coming up on eBay or other places thinking, should I take a plunge and just take a chance and get them? Maybe with a couple of reviews may help you save some money or take that plunge and get them, etc. Now I take it that these may well went with tube amplifiers back in their day when they was about, maybe not, I don't really know, so they may sound a little bit different on a tube amplifier than they will do in this review here, so just maybe bear that in mind, and this is only my opinion on the amplifiers etc that I've connected these up to. First of all, just give you the measurements of these. These are 17.5 inches high, 11.5 inches in width and 8 inches in depth. Now what I normally do is sting these on the floor, open them up and take a look inside, so let's go and do that right now. There it is on the floor, and the front of this, it doesn't come off, there's no front grille, nothing like that, so we're going to have to go through the rear of the speaker. There's the rear open, and as you can see we've got the driver, the tweeter, the front port tube there, and the wadding, all the wadding inside is actually glued on all around the inside of the speaker, around each panel, so there's no actual wadding inside, it's just around the panel. And the panel, this speaker, the wood on it, it's fairly, it's reasonably thick. It's quite strong, feels quite strong and well made. And there's the main driver. It's an 8-inch paper cone driver, rated at 8 watts, and the tweeter is a 3/4 inch paper cone tweeter. And the crossover just comprises of just one capacitor, just a 5 microfarad capacitor. And as you can see, I've measured it there, and it measured 5.71, so it's a little bit out. But it's not a badly made kind of speaker with a very basic crossover, admittedly. So let's go on and see how it actually sounded. So how did they actually sound then? Now, normal setups, I know a few people may be a little bit disappointed. I'm playing around with amplifiers that are 40 years old and maybe a little bit older than that. These are probably most of them bottom of the line amplifiers, right down the bottom of the range. Amplifiers you're going to pick up today probably for about the £100–120 mark, somewhere around there. But still, quite regarded in their day, and still got collectors out there today buying them. Sansui 101, 331441. I've got a Pioneer 636, Marantz 2216B, and a few other bits and pieces. Bought a couple of new amplifiers recently. I've finally got hold of, even though a couple of people on the channel has actually advised me to go and buy this amplifier, but it falls just above, you may just be able to get it. This channel is really a sub £200 channel, and probably more bordering the £100 to be honest with you, per unit, so you can go and pick up a few items at a reasonable price and hopefully get a decent sound for what you're paying, relative terms money wise. Something you're going to enjoy and sit back and relax and not think too much about, and just let the world go past kind of thing, and just have a relaxing evening or afternoon, listen to a bit of music and enjoying yourself. That's what it's really all about. And if you can get some really nice detailed sounding, well, that's going to be a little bit of a bonus maybe. So yeah, bought a couple of amplifiers. Was the Audiolab 8000A I bought. I haven't really tested it out properly to be honest with you, but I will come in and do a review of it at some stage. But I'm now sticking it on these speakers as well that I'm reviewing, to give me another angle, maybe another amp on the speakers, to hopefully get an average kind of thing maybe. More amps you put on there, more average they're going to sound. Get an average kind of feel from, where if you just add one amp, you're just going to go with that one amp. If you've got 10 amps, then you've got more of an idea maybe what they're going to sound like with other amplifiers, and that may give you kind of like more of an idea. And picked up what's it, a NAD 33, no, a NAD 3020, is it series 20, something like that, I can't remember the name of it now. I've also got that as well. So a couple of new amplifiers. That one falls within the budget because that was only £90 I think, or £99, something like that I paid for it. But the Audiolab, I decided to get a nice one, one in really mint condition. That just goes over the actual channel, only by £10, but it went a little bit over. But actually, with me neck to point, it probably did come in bang on the thingy bob on the channel with the points I picked up. But anyway, forget about that. So anyway, I'm kind of like going to bring them in as well. Hopefully, just give me a little bit more of an idea of how the speakers sound. But unfortunately, both of them amps and all the other amps I had didn't kind of help these speakers at all really. Although they did sound a tad better on the Audio Labs, just made them a little bit less shouty, harsh and screechy, but minute, like, you know what I mean, minute. You know, I don't think what you stuck with these were going to suddenly spring them into life. But then saying that, don't forget that maybe these old valve amplifiers, which I haven't got, may do these a little bit more justice, maybe, because maybe these were made for back then, I don't know. Maybe someone can put in the comments or something like that, any ideas, especially if they've had a pair of these, or knows someone has had a pair, maybe what amplifiers they're best with. But even so, I don't think you're going to rush out and get a pair of these. These are another ones that you know, you can soon forget about, I think. But anyway, still nice to me to get hold of them. Cost me £14, and I thought I'd get them because not many people are going to know a lot about them. I don't think. Another video for the channel, and they're kind of like a throwaway money, so if they don't work, no good. I can't resell them. I maybe take the parts out, which I do with quite a few speakers now. Sell the parts on to someone else who's got a pair that's the tweeter's blown or the bass is blown, or they may want to make up another cabinet themselves, different crossovers, etc. And maybe just experiment. You know, these people are about like sitting around, tinkering around. And if they can get a cheap set of drivers, they're going to knock up a pair of speakers and just have a bit of fun, really. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what this is all about. For some people, and for myself, it's a bit of fun. Experiment with a load of different speakers and amplifiers, etc. Where other people just want to go out and buy the one unit, plug it in, and that's it. They're done. Anyway, back to the sound. Let's don't waffle on too much. Let's start with the bottom end in. And normal setups, like I say, put them on the table, put them on the speaker stands, put them on the side unit, all that kind of stuff. I think you've got the drift of it now. Added these sound, the bass. It weren't bad, you know, it weren't bad, the bass. It was quite detailed. Detail-wise, it weren't bad, the bass. It was just lacking that oomph. You know what I mean? A lot of bass, really. Going around the kit weren't too bad. It weren't too bad. Nothing fantastic, but it was okay. It was acceptable. Didn't have a lot of weight behind it. Didn't have any real oomph to it. Didn't really go down low enough, really, but it was okay, you know what I mean, kind of okay-ish, it weren't bad. Mid-range, well, this is where things started falling apart. Mid-range was like harsh, it was screechy, it's not very nice, you know what I mean, you know, more so obviously on the female vocals. The male's kind of a tad better, but not a lot. It wasn't nice, you know what I mean, it soon get on your nerves, you know, it's going to be ear-old ache kind of thing. You won't put up with it too long, I don't think. As for the instruments, the piano, trumpet, saxophone, them kind of instruments, this speaker made any instrument really. It kind of, you know, weren't too bad, like I say, with the drums, but any instrument really sounded like a cheap, you know, set of instruments. Like the band's gone out and bought some instruments out of the pound shop, out of Poundland or Dollarland or Dollar Shop in the US, something like that. They've gone and bought their instruments there, like, you know what I mean. These are the cheapest made instruments possible, and the band's, you know, playing them in the background, and they've got some singer that's got, you know, these are a lozenge for a throat kind of thing. That's how they sounded. So it wasn't very pleasant really. It was okay, but it wasn't very pleasant. I mean, if you went and got a set of speakers off maybe one of these old 70s music centres, them speakers are sounding better than these, you know what I mean. They sound more warmer, sound more pleasant, it's, you know, just have a more, you know, good feeling kind of sound to them than these will. These are quite harsh, like I say, these speakers. Top end, the top end went quite high on these. It went too high really. It was too much top end on these. Very, very bright top end. When it got right to the top, it was quite detailed. It wasn't too bad. That bit there wasn't too bad. Right top end, but just a bit lower. Like again, it sounded like, you know, all the instruments were cheap. Any kind of cymbals or any of these kind of like what they hold and they shake them about with the little kind of cymbals on them kind of instruments, they was all like from the pound shop. Very, you know, something I've knocked up out of a few bottle tops, something like that. So that wasn't, you know, fantastic at all. You know, it's a speaker that you're not going to be really interested in at all, I don't think. Now, a little bit of a surprise, the imaging on these speakers, even though the vocals were, you know, let's say quite harsh and screechy, they was bang on, like, you know what I mean. They were so focused. It was very, very focused. The sound stage wasn't too bad, and, you know, instrument placement, yeah, it was okay. It's okay, but that, you know, the vocals and that focus and the you know, sound stage, bang in centre, it was quite solid. That's quite surprising, really. You know, thought it was going to be all over the place, kind of thing. But, you know, but that was okay. But you won't be listening to it for too long, that's for certain. So all in all, these speakers are a disappointment. You know, well, I say disappointment. I paid £14. I wasn't expecting any miracles. But hopefully one of these days I'm going to pick up a cheap pair that no one's heard of or not many people, and they're going to sound pretty nice for a little money. It's going to come either that, I'm going to open them up and there's going to be a wad of money in there which someone's hidden, or some diamond rings, something like that, because you never know, it could happen. I'm hoping anyway, keep paying these 14 quids out, one of these days you won't see me. But anyway, a bit of fun really. Like I say, I'm probably going to take these apart and put these drivers etc on eBay. Someone may want to tinker around with them or something like that. And you know, these cabinets I'll probably smash up, dump them or burn them or whatever. But anyway, at least I got hold of a pair, give them a try, and now I know a little bit more about them. And I think this silver make is a very, very budget make. It's a Japanese make, like I say, and I think these make quite cheap, very low end kind of items in their day. Okay, so that's it. Until the next video, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.